on.
I know.
That's all right. Greg Rousseau, come on, man. Not only is he having a great season to start, beautiful sack on Monday night, the best game of his career was against Miami last season. I believe he had 2.5 sacks. Coming up this week.
It's going to be so much fun to talk Buffalo Bills. I mean, this week. I mean, everything is like...
Isn't it awesome? This is awesome!
Even though the both of us were on Tennessee last week.
Well, no, I was on Buffalo. The points scared me, but I think I was
It's all about the points. And Roman Misula, welcome to the show. Rookie, we love this. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Super excited to be here. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm a local attorney. I used to be a prosecutor here in Rochester, New York. I'm a private attorney now. I'm a partner at Ganguly Brothers PLC, also running for Supreme Court in this election, and super excited to be here. Big sports fan and fan of your show.
All right, so
he's the one.
Yeah, he's one of the 11. Let's start here. We've got everyone's talking Buffalo Bills and playing the field and all the rest of the stuff. If you take Kansas City out of the equation, who worries you the most about, challenging Buffalo for a championship this year?
In the entire league, it's got to be Tampa Bay, in my view. Because you've got Tom Brady, you got a pretty stacked team still. Tom Brady's been a Buffalo Bills foil for a very long time, and I'm kind of hoping that happens that way. Because if the Bills go to the Super Bowl against Tom Brady, Tampa Bay, we're talking about Twitter's going to be broken. We're talking about a lot of attention to that kind of a thing. But I think they're probably the biggest threat in my view. In the AFC, I'm thinking Baltimore. You've got this explosive offense. You've got Lamar Jackson. You've got a Hall of Fame coach. In the AFC, that's what I'd be worried about. But looking at your schedule, I'm a big 49ers fan. Looking at your schedule, though, I root for the Bills, since I live here. It's next couple games are tough, but after that, it gets easier for you guys. It's going to be a dominant year.
You guys.
I don't like this, but that's fine. The answer is Baltimore, right? Like, Baltimore scares me for a couple of reasons. I am a big Lamar Jackson guy. I love watching Lamar Jackson play. I mean, he's Josh Allen light, but the guy gets the job done. I know what happened in Miami last week. It's a fluke kind of game. Baltimore is just as hungry as Buffalo is, the way that the last couple of seasons have played out. Buffalo got them in the playoffs a couple of years ago. Last season, those injuries decimated them. I mean, Harbaugh knows how to coach. He's got a Super Bowl on his resume already. Their defense is legitimate.
I think one of the things about Baltimore that's kind of hanging over them is the whole contractual thing and how that's going to affect Lamar Jackson in terms of as this season progresses.
No, but see, that scares me even more because the guy's got something to play for here. And here's the thing. I don't hate the way Baltimore's handling it. I know it seems strange, but in this new economy of football, they can't lose him. They can franchise him. And he's actually going to be more affordable on next year's deal if they franchise him than the deal that they would have to give him guaranteed based on what the other quarterbacks have done. Look, if Lamar Jackson stays healthy, Baltimore scares the heck out of me.
And we get them on the schedule. I mean, we get to see these teams close up. Baltimore is relatively soon. You got Miami, then Baltimore, and then down the road is Kansas City. We're going to see these teams.
But you know as well as I do, I mean, those regular season matchups, they're important, but it's a different game in the playoffs. I mean, Buffalo was a little bit more seasoned when they saw them the first time 2 years ago. You had them at home. I mean, even that game against Baltimore in 2 weeks, if Buffalo goes in and smokes them, still won't put my mind at ease about what would happen if we saw them in the playoffs.
Different animal in the playoffs.
You immigrated from Ukraine, picked up football, so you got to Rochester at the age of 9. Now you're a big time football fan. What was the toughest part of you to get your arms around?
Oh man, we come over. Soccer is God in Ukraine, right? We come over. I'm 9 years old. My father and I are watching our first football games. That's how I became a 49ers fan. 1994. You're talking about young. You're talking about Rice, the Super Bowl year. First games I see are 49ers games, but we have no clue what's happening. I mean, we're cheering for like the extra points, but for the touchdowns, we're like, all right, what happened?
The extra points. That's
but I'm a kid and I'm around kids, so I learned the game very quickly. I would say the toughest part. I mean, football is an intricate game to learn. Probably baseball is probably the one that's tougher, but football is very difficult to pick up if you don't know anything about football. So I think how long, practically speaking, how long it takes between plays. The action is instantaneous. It lasts a couple seconds. There's a lot of preparation for it, right? We were confused. What are they doing? Why are they talking? Why aren't they going? Why aren't they, what's happening? That sort of thing.
I've always felt it was like a pledging process, in terms of learning the games that are important to people in the United States. It's like you have to invest a certain amount of time to become one of us.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But I mean, sports is that gateway for a lot of, American culture, right? You see it in the way the athletes speak out and things. You see it in the way that the owners value holding on to those franchises because they're so valuable. If you are unplugged from the 4 major sports in America, I mean, you are unfortunately kind of an outcast here, right?
Absolutely.
Especially depending on the city. Like Boston's reputation is like, if you're not one of us, you're